Irina Zarutska fled war-torn Ukraine for safety in Charlotte, North Carolina, only to face a tragic end. On August 22, 2025, she was fatally attacked on the Charlotte light rail, a victim of random violence. The accused, DeCarlos Brown Jr., had a history of criminal behavior, yet was released without bail. This decision by the justice system had devastating consequences. Irina's death highlights a perceived failure in judicial responsibility, where repeat offenders are often granted leniency. The case raises urgent questions about pretrial release standards and judicial accountability. It forces a conversation on how to protect the public from known threats. The tragedy is a stark reminder of the dangers lurking even in places deemed safe. The community demands answers and change to prevent such senseless violence. Irina's story is a call to action for a more accountable justice system. In response to Irina's tragedy, Representative Randy Fine proposed holding judges accountable for releasing violent offenders. His legislation aims to challenge judicial immunity, making judges liable for decisions leading to further violence. Fine argues that judges should face consequences if their rulings endanger public safety. This proposal taps into public frustration over perceived judicial leniency. Fine links his legislative push directly to Irina's murder, demanding accountability from the justice system. The proposed law seeks to prioritize public safety over lenient release policies. It aims to ensure judges consider the potential danger to the community. Fine's initiative reflects a growing demand for reform within the criminal justice system. The legislation is a response to repeated failures to protect the public from known threats. It calls for a shift in judicial priorities to prevent future tragedies. Elon Musk amplified the call for judicial accountability, endorsing Representative Fine's proposal. Musk's support turned a regional issue into a national debate, highlighting public demand for reform. His endorsement reflects a widespread belief that the justice system is failing to protect citizens. The idea of holding judges accountable resonates with those frustrated by a revolving door for violent criminals. Musk's influence empowers people to demand action from elected officials. The public wants consequences for judicial decisions that lead to further violence. This movement is fueled by shared stories of crime and a lack of accountability. The debate questions why judges are exempt from consequences faced by other professionals. Judicial immunity is seen as a barrier to meaningful review and accountability. The call for reform grows louder with each new tragedy and high-profile endorsement. The proposal to hold judges accountable challenges the principle of judicial immunity. Proponents argue that immunity allows judges to make impartial decisions without fear of reprisal. Critics say it shields judges from accountability for poor judgment in releasing violent offenders. The debate centers on whether judges should face consequences for decisions that endanger public safety. Supporters of accountability argue that repeated poor judgment warrants consequences. They believe accountability is necessary to protect the public from known threats. Critics warn that liability could lead to defensive judging and overcrowded jails. The challenge is to balance judicial independence with public safety. The debate questions whether current immunity serves true judicial independence. The goal is to ensure judges prioritize community safety in their decisions. Irina Zarutska's death ignites a debate on judicial authority and public safety. The case highlights a perceived culture of leniency with devastating consequences. Representative Fine's proposal challenges the status quo, seeking accountability for judicial decisions. The movement argues that responsibility extends beyond the perpetrator to the enabling system. Critics warn of a slippery slope, fearing liability could cripple the justice system. The debate is about improving the system, not punishing judges for unpredictable outcomes. The challenge is balancing judicial independence with public safety. The conversation is necessary to prevent future tragedies like Irina's. The path forward requires careful consideration of rights, risks, and responsibilities. The goal is to ensure safety without compromising judicial independence.